Night gameplay was very different, and I know I'm being really lengthy on this, but it's because I wanted to just describe my experience at Faded Giant 3, and also include some videos and pictures and stuff. So bear with me. I mean, this is basically as interesting as it's going to get. So if you don't want to hear the rest of it, might as well tune out now. Here come the hate comments. I know, but so that night was a very different style of play. It wasn't not everybody came out for the night game. When we started lining up, man, the tan guys, which was we were on COST, by the way, the Coalition of the Sovereign Territories. That's the team I was on, the green, the primarily green, and the other team was the USF, United States Forces or something. Yeah, just USF or USA. No, it's just USF, something like that. And we're all grouped up. We're formation again, and they're about to explain some rules. Some night play things and whatever. Well, we start noticing right off the bat they got more guys than we do. Well, crap. But thankfully, by the time we kicked the thing off, it was about even because they went. I guess they counted because there was a lot of radio like, "Oh, dude, how many guys you got?" I don't know. And ended up it was, I guess, even enough. Well, so we're sitting there, we're getting ready to go back out, and we're sitting there and we're like, well, we got to come up with a challenge word for night game. And I was sitting there like, okay, that's gonna be a good idea. And this guy, this older gentleman, had to be a veteran or something. He was older and he was just so in airsoft and so enthusiastic. I mean, had a nice white mustache and salt and pepper hair. He was just into it, and I loved his enthusiasm. I hope I'm that way when I'm his age. Just real enthusiastic, still going at it. Pee Wee came up with the suggestion of Spread Eagle as being our challenge password. So since that was our challenge password, all through the night you would hear people yelling "Spread Eagle," and then that was just confusing the heck out of me. Like, are they saying Spread Eagle? Are they trying to confuse us? Just one of the weirdest things ever. So anyway, Spread Eagle. That's all you need to know. So I get with our squad leader again. I'm like, all right, man. I said, what are we doing tonight? And he said, okay. He said, so we're going to try to push back to this pump house over here, and I want you guys to go inside the building, which I've been wanting to go inside the building, since I've been outside all day, and I know my other guys were too. So we all got indoor weapons, even though mine was like that long through the Tyler's DMR style, but it was legal. And he was like, all right, sweet. So go inside the building, we just rush through, and this is the part I got on my GoPro cam, so I'm going to show that video.
This is Ron Lothian Airsoft with Jeremy Hackworth, Wiley Coyote, Wiley Murphy, and then Colton Smoke, Colt Buse, and then Jeremy's is just Hack. And mine's Rhino, because I'm around, nifty. So, Spread Eagle. Spread Eagle, man.
And we're rushing the building.
Yep. And they just shot a flare off into the woods, about caught the woods on fire. That was nice.
I thought it was there for a minute too, didn't it?
Did that tree just fall? Okay. What floor is that? Okay. Yeah, here I go.
Alright. So, we're going to be moving to this building here. If you guys can get in here, at this end of the building, which if you come in right here, there's a hallway that goes here, up the stairs a little bit. And, well, you go up the first flight of stairs as soon as you walk in the building. And then it only goes up one flight. There's a hallway that runs the length of this building, and then you can come out in the main large room where I think you guys were there earlier, where you can look over the fight yard.
Yes, okay. Where that big gap, where that window is back
there? Yeah,
okay,
right there. Go there, but then come here, and where that stairwell is over here, Take that stairwell up all the way as you can go. You then get on this roof right here. So watch this building here.
All right, nice.
You guys should be good from there, and there's only one entrance to that room.
Sounds good.
So you guys just heard what our missions and objective was, basically. So, you know, now I'm just showing y'all the video footage of us actually trying to get over there to it. Now this part's a little bit long. There's not much action, and as you can see right now, I'm just kind of moving up the stairwell followed by Colton, Jeremy, and Wiley. But, you know, I wanted you guys just to see how big this building was. So, right here, I probably moved the fastest that I've ever moved across this hallway. And this is the hallway that later in the video, when I tell you about the 30 on 30 being on each end of the hallway, this is the hallway I'm talking about. And this room on the far right, right there, to my right, is the room I was talking about that the guys were piled up in, and we were on the other side of that wall. So when you hear me talking about that, just come back to this part of the video, and that's what I'm talking about. And as you can see right now, we're just moving through the building, and I'm giving a voice narration right here. You know, we call. The sad part about this video is I forget the challenge word, which was spread eagle. So, you know, I don't even yell it out half the time, and then finally, for some reason, it clicks, and I remember it. So, right now, you know, we're just, like I said, we're moving through the building. We moved up a bunch of flight of stairs, trying to remember, you know, where exactly our squad leader had pointed out on that map. You know, we actually, thankfully, we moved in the right spot, and we moved in the right direction. But as you can see in this video, when we moved to the end of this room, and right here's a fail at me trying to open the door, and I thought everybody would rush in, and when I opened up the door, nobody rushed in. I was like, Jeremy, you're supposed to go. So I go back in there. And right here, moving across this big machine room. And, you know, I saw this room several times that night. And right here in a minute, I'm going to go and explain what's about to happen. What's about to happen is I'm about to peek in this door. Not the door directly in front of you, but there's a door to the left. And there's about 20 guys sitting on the other side of that door of the other team. And I kind of start freaking out, and I pull Wiley back. And it's just, it kind of comical now I think about it, but it scared the crap out of me, just how many people were in there. And it's right there. Right there, I saw them all. So I'm like, guys, there's 10 guys in there. And I'm trying to, you know, motion it out, and I pull Wiley out of the way right here. And I'm like, well, crap, you know, you know, this is bad. This is real bad. So I'm trying to move everybody into position right here. And right there, a guy shoots at me. He almost hits me, just goes right past me. And we start yelling out, you know, challenge, not our challenge password, but, you know, we're confused here. We're yelling, are you green or are you tan? And, you know, nothing's getting done here. So I'm just in there, well, crap. And because, you know, I got guys across the hallway yelling, and I'm yelling. And so, you know, we're not getting anything accomplished here. So I finally moved back into this position, and sooner or later here we figure out, you know, who's on what team, and I kill about 2 or 3 guys to try to peek around right here and, you know, shoot up the stairwell before I try to do something a little ballsy, and you'll see me do it here in a second.
Are y'all green over there? Green. Okay, they're green, they're green.
But don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Okay, let's try this again.
Guys on the other side of the door. Hey, everybody be quiet for a second. Guys on the other side of this door, y'all green or tan? All right, they're tan.
Thought so.
That's what we
Right there, I kill 1 guy. I might have killed 2 right there. I know I killed 3 guys right here that kept on trying to peek around right there. And on the other side of the door is Colton and Jeremy and all them, and they're trying to, you know, do the same thing. They're shooting back at them. And in a second here, you'll see me look down to my side, and what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my pistol. There's a guy on the other side of that door, and I have an epic fail moment here. I try to run up to that door, peek around the corner of my pistol, and shoot him, but when I do, my gun just goes click. And it's because my pistol, I didn't cock it back. And earlier in the day, I'd done the same thing. And when I did it, I mean, it was because the clip wasn't in there all the way. So I knew the clip was in there all the way. I just didn't, you know, cock it back. So right here in a second, I'm about to try that move, and I fail, and it doesn't work out very well for me in the end here. I got my pistol drawn, and you'll see what happens next. And, you know, right there, get shot in the butt. And it's basically, you know, done for me right there, you know, trying to be a hero.
There we go. Hit. Medic!
The part for me calling for medic right there is Colton, who just happened to be our medic for this round. He was the first one to die when all that firing happened in the first place. So I got my little dead light here that looks like a glow stick, but it's not. It's actually battery powered. Really cool. $10 on evike.com. And, you know, got that. Got my dead rag out because I wasn't really sure if I was just supposed to have my dead rag or my dead light out. So, you know, I'm a little bit confused there. And Wiley's here to the left of me getting havoc wreaked on him right now because he's the only one alive towards this end of the building. And you know, I told y'all when y'all see the sheer length of the building. We've moved successfully from the very beginning to the very back of the building. So, you know, that just helps give you an idea of just the sheer mass of the building. And we're actually on the top, or one of the upper floors of the building. So, you know, here's Wiley, and he gets hit right there in the side of the face, you know, and he's going to come over and walk over, you know, towards me and sit down. He's a little bit ticked. And the bad thing is people just kept on firing in on us. And right here, this next clip, you know, we're getting fired in on, and, you know, Wiley's getting kind of mad. But as soon as these guys move in, Jeremy and a couple other players have fired in on those guys. And that was pretty successful. So now we have moved, you know, we have spawned back in, and we're challenging, you know, we've come back to that spot. And there's a group of guys at the end of the building. We're challenge passwording these guys to see, you know, if they're on our team or not. And thankfully, you know, they yell Eagle back, and or actually they start yelling spread at us, and I thought they were saying bread. I was confused. And then, you know, Colt said Eagle. I was like, oh, thank God. So running down here to the end, and we got quite a group of guys grouped up here. And you know, I'm about to explain the situation here. The situation here is, you know, we got to get on the other side of that door. The other side of that door is a very big, wide open room. The only problem is, on the other side of that door is our guys. Our guys have moved around the lower floors and have come around and have come in that way. So, you know, we don't know who it is. So right here, you know, we throw a Thunder Bee in there, we send a guy in, and unfortunately he's the only guy that goes in there. We're all supposed to rush through the door, but only one guy goes in there. And we figure out real quick, oh, it's green. So we're like, crap, we're shooting at our own guys. So we all walk in there, you know, I call for Colton to medic some guys.
Come on, Colt.
And, you know, we had been looking for Jeremy. We'd actually sat at the spawn point, waited quite a bit for Jeremy. We're like, what happened to Jeremy? Did he get lost? And right here he is. There's Jeremy. And, you know, he said our own guys were firing at us from behind. The guys that we were firing at originally, though, were tan guys. I can confirm that. And right here is we're looking down the lower floors in that building, and there's a lot of tan guys down there. And we are just circled around the rim of this, just firing down, wreaking havoc. And I get a guy pretty good that tries to run across and be a hero here and kill somebody. And, you know, I'm glad to see his bravery, but, man, there's just too many of us. And right there, you know, I tag him a couple of times. Man, he's just... he got lit up pretty bad, him and about 2 or 3 other guys. And I'm skipping around here on the video just to get to the good parts. Right here, the guys on the other team have bordered themselves behind this door, and as you can see, there's about 5 or 6 of them on the other side of the door. The guy on the left putting the duct tape there is one of our Canadian friends that was on our team, and, you know, he brought duct tape with him from Canada, so we're using Canadian duct tape, I guess. And we have bolted that door originally was bolted shut. We have re-bolted that door shut. We're duct taping it, and right here I tell everybody back up. They do something really stupid. If you didn't catch that, we'll play it again in slow motion. What just happened is the other team was trying to throw a Thunder Bee and kill a bunch of us, but they didn't realize we had the door bolted shut. So like I said, let's play that at half speed and see this comical moment happen. Alright, now let's play it again at a quarter of the speed. Yeah, their ears are ringing here. And that was pretty hilarious to us, and we argued over that for a while, if they were out or not. But right here, it's just us kind of moving down the hallway. And another comical moment happens here, and it's only comical because nobody got hurt. So right here, you're about to see. Player, I did not catch his name, but he has slipped and actually tripped, and we're trying to be as stealth and quiet as possible, and this guy kind of falls and makes a lot of noise. Colton gives him the thumbs up. He's okay. He didn't twist his ankle or anything. Like I said, it's the only reason why I'm showing this video, because he's okay, just to show you. There he is walking. He's fine. He played great for the rest of the day. I actually asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind if I put this up? He said no. So right here, I just wanted you to see the sheer number of guys we were moving with around in the night, inside the buildings and outside the buildings. It was a lot of guys. We had a big group of guys from Canada and other places. I think we had some guys from over in England, the UK. So here we are just moving around, in a large group. We're about to go outside. But my GoPro, unfortunately, I wasn't thinking about the video. I was thinking about, the objectives, and I was making too much light. We had them duct taped up, the little red recording light and the blue light, but they were still giving off light. So Jeremy here in a second, he, cuts it off because it's giving off way too much. So that's basically it for the video.
Night play was just running around in the buildings, and then, we had about 30. Okay, imagine this. You're in a really thin hallway, which, like I said, I got pictures and video of. You got 30 guys on one end of the hallway, and you got 30 guys on the other end of the hallway. And y'all are trying to get across that hallway, just running into different rooms and stuff and firing at each other. And there's Thunder Bees going off everywhere, right up against you. And these guys had to have hundreds of Thunder Bees. And that's all it was. I mean, I've never really played true indoor CQB. I learned real quick how to play true indoor CQB. So I am Battlegrounds ready now. But oh my gosh, I've never been, a little bit scared in airsoft. But when there's only 5 guys up against a wall, like I said, there's 30 here, 30 there. We pushed all the way through, but we thinned out as we pushed. So we had about 30 guys in a room here. Or, we had about 5 guys here. They were piling up against this wall right here. And they were like, we could hear mumbling things like, okay, we're about to go in there. So we knew we had to get out of there real quick. We had to go from room to room. And it's like every time we moved over to another, and they bust in that room behind us, we're like, oh, crap. So, like I said, I've never been a little bit frightened in airsoft, but man, they're sitting there saying, don't stop shooting till they all hit the floor. And I'm sitting there going, ooh, crap. Because in those situations, you're shooting around, you're not going to stop shooting until you see a dead rag fly or somebody hit the ground. Because you're point blank CQB. And they got a lot of guys and you got a lot of guys. So you're just going to keep shooting each other up until you're either hit or everybody's down or you just can't take the pain anymore. That's what it boiled down to. Thankfully, throughout this entire event, with all this almost hand-to-hand combat going on and people firing point blank at each other, which, they could. It was legal. There were no fights. There were no arguments. You did have a heated conversation back and forth. Like, me and this guy ran up on him, and I swear his name is Drew. I swear I shot Drew. And I was like, what the heck? How did I not hit you? I saw them hit you. That's why I stopped shooting. He said, well, you didn't give me a man. He said, you got my gun. And I was just so mad. I was like, all right. So I just sat down like in a crisscross applesauce in there like this. And I said, you want a Slim Jim, buddy? He said, yeah. So I went up there, gave a Slim Jim. And like I said, it was just things like that. There'd be, a couple heated pop-offs, but that was it. It was very maturely played airsoft. And I was very surprised at how, I've heard these things, like, gosh, good luck with those milsim jerks or, whatever, or, milsim guys, ruin airsoft. I had a great time. I mean, I don't know if it's just, because the group of guys I was around most of the day. I mean, I felt like I was around a pretty big group of people, but there was no guys just sitting there yelling behind a group of guys like charge or do this, or you're an idiot, or you freaking suck, you don't know what you're doing. Come on, you pussy. I didn't hear any of that. I mean, honestly, I can say this. At that Milsim event, I have seen more heated exchanges and arguments and problems at an Alabama Airsoft event, I'll just say that, than I have at this Milsim event. That is some of the bare minimum arguments that I've ever seen in my life. Were there problems? Yes, there were some problems that I heard of that I wasn't there for. I'm just saying, where I was, I mean, best experience of my life as far as, how people conducted themselves. And it was just, I was amazed. Good player, good sportsmanship all across the board. Great sportsmanship. I mean, I don't know if it's just the fact that, it was 18 and older and there's more mature people out there, or if it was because, we were all paid like $200 for this event. And I mean, heck, everybody else what they had to pay and do to get this event. So why ruin it for them? Everybody wants to get their money's worth out of it. So basically, I'm going to look at the sheet, make sure I covered that all. So basically, very, very interesting style of play. My first big Milsim event. I loved it. I have totally been against Milsim at one point in my life. They're very organized. They're very, very organized. And I am an infrastructural guy, especially at Lothian, and I'm all about infrastructure, physically with structures and, with gameplay. So, those guys got what I want. The infrastructure at that event was great from what I saw. Now, some other people's opinions and point of views may not be the same, and I'd love to hear those for anyone else that watches this video that was there. I'd like to know what you thought about it. If I had to rate the event out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 5-star event. I mean, the only things they were missing were maybe some food vendors. I don't know, maybe some food vendors. That's about it. I love their medic system. Not to 100%. I don't like being physically dragged. I do like the fact that you got to put hands on somebody, move them like we do with Section 8 at Mount Doom, but I don't like being physically dragged because I lost my radio that was strapped to my backpack while I was being dragged, and I didn't really notice. And I also lost my pistol, but I grabbed that as I was being dragged. So, there's some pros and there's some cons, but mostly pros. So for those of you that are looking for a really awesome airsoft event to go to, American Milsim puts on some great ones. More specifically, Faded Giant 3 is one to go to, in my opinion. I would definitely choose Faded Giant 3 another 15, 20 times. So with that being said, I'd like to thank our sponsor from Lothian for sponsoring me, Ryan Watkins, Wiley Murphy, Colton Buse, my co-host, and Jeremy Hackworth for sending us out to this event. Thank you so much. I think we've represented Lothian well. And, for a while I thought we were going to be the only guys there from the Alabama Airsoft community. I was wrong. Adam Norman, just Adam from Delta 6 was there. And I actually went and chatted with him and a group of, his friends, but after the event, it was really cool seeing a guy from your own airsoft community out there. I mean, especially being 6 hours away, you wouldn't expect that. It was really cool, especially with another Alabama Airsoft event going on, at the same time. He was there, very good guy. Glad I got to meet him. He was on the opposite team. We never got to fire at each other or anything like that. But it was very good seeing a familiar face, or at least, familiar foe, or whatever it may be, in the Alabama Airsoft community. And, just seeing somebody else that you see. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've ever, I mean, just saying, like, if you had a guy in the community that you can't stand him on the airsoft course, you're just like, God, I can't stand that guy. You see him about 200 or 300 miles away or 5 or 6 hours away, you go, buddy, you know, it's just, you connect. You're from the same turf. You play against each other all the time. Time to represent your state. If you got any other news or any things that you think you can send to me before December when I put out my next video, because that's when I'll get another break in the action from school, because, you know, I've been writing a paper on this book. My God. Yes, I did actually read the book. And I watched the movie. And I read the Spartans. So, wrote a paper, you know, here and there and all this other stuff. I'm now becoming free. So now that I'm freeing up all this stuff, I'm able to make videos. I'm able to communicate with you guys. I love talking to you guys. I love the questions. I love being involved in the airsoft community. So, you know, send me all your questions on anything airsoft. I may not know it, but I do know somebody I could probably refer you to. And, yeah, man, I'm just ranting way too much. It's been so long since I made a video. I just want to keep talking. You know, I don't want to stop. So, I guess I'm going to have to cut it off here, guys. Hope you like this video. I will keep trying to post as much as possible. I'll be a lot more active during the summer when I'm not doing book work and stuff. So, anyways, guys, this is Ryan Watkins from William County Airsoft / Lothian Airsoft, signing out. Take it easy.